Let's get right to our strategy session. Joining us now, the Democratic strategist and CNN contributor Hillary Rosen, and the Republican strategist, also a CNN contributor, Alex Castellanos. Guys, thanks very much for coming in. Hillary, let me start with you. I assume you were pleased that Romney ran away from this strategy of trying to revive the Reverend Jeremiah Wright in this current campaign, just as John McCain ran away from it 4 years ago. Romney did the right thing today, right?
I think he did do the right thing. It makes no sense to resurrect something like that. It didn't work the first time, and frankly, I think he did it because he knew it wouldn't work this time, too.
It's going to certainly, even if they were to do that, Alex, and you're an expert in this field, it would alienate a lot of those independents out there, the moderate Democrats, Republicans, undecided. They may have problems with the president's economic strategy or whatever, but he's likable according to all of the polls. And if they were to take that strategy, that could be counterproductive from the Republican perspective.
I think that's true, Wolf. And, you know, this election wants to be about the economy. The economic house is burning down. And if we're talking about other things that aren't central to that, then you're really out of the discourse. You're playing the Super Bowl in the wrong stadium. And I think Romney saw that today. But, you know, on both sides, of both extremes of the political spectrum, Democrat and Republican, there are funders out there who always want their unique or weird issue heard, and there are always some consultants out there who are willing to take that money. So I think that's where that came from, and that's where it should go back.
And it's really uncharted territory, because in this new era of unlimited spending, Hillary, with these super PACs, you can have far-right groups, far-left groups come up with millions of dollars of commercials that are nasty, trashy, ugly, and there's not much that the candidates themselves, if anything, can do about it.
Well, that's true, and I think that, you know, we just saw in the Republican primary where really, you know, Mitt Romney's super PACs outspent the other Republican opponents by hundreds of millions of dollars, and essentially with really negative attack ads. That's the strategy. That's going to be Romney's strategy, and I'm not saying I think the Obama supporters are going to be not looking at the same thing, but we have a president here who has supported, you know, legislation to stop that kind of money from coming into campaigns. Mitt Romney has supported that, and it's very frustrating for all Americans, I think.
You wrote a provocative column, Alex, today. Let me read a line from it, and then we'll discuss. Team Obama has turned the candidate of hope and change into a ferociously political animal. They've discarded their most valuable asset, his stature. The outsider who flew above the hated, polarized politics of red and blue now does nothing but campaign and polarize. Pretty strong words, Alex. Back it up.
Well, I think you've seen the candidate who ran saying there's no red and no blue America, just one America, you know, 4 years ago, now running a very different campaign. He is polarizing men against women, this mythical Republican war against women, rich against poor, employer against employee, young with college loans against old. And I think the strategy is not unlike the Bush strategy for re-election when 43 ran, which is, if I can't win the middle, I'm going to shrink the middle. I'm going to polarize the country along every other issue but the economy, and that's what we see the president doing. But you know what that does? It asks people to live in an America where we each have to fight each other, the troops have to fight each other to get to the front lines and really do something about our real problems. Americans don't want to be that kind of a divided, angry people tearing at our own throats.
Hillary, go ahead.
Well, I couldn't disagree more with my friend Alex, you know, but campaigning is as Mario Cuomo used to say, campaigning is poetry and governing is prose. You know, Mitt Romney's prose is not quite as eloquent as Alex's is, but, you know, it's nonetheless fairly ugly. We are operating in a very polarized environment today, but the issues that the president has sought to accomplish for the American people have brought people together. He has worked together on things like banking and consumer reform. Republicans have been against it. Just yesterday, there was a meeting at the White House to try and bring people together on the budget. The president reaffirmed his commitment to working to reduce the deficit and bring people together on the budget. This is a president who I think every single time has reached out across the aisle, has tried to find ways to include Republicans and Democrats alike in solving the problems of the country. But it is fairly clear, you know, as many people have studied recently, that there's just no getting across this kind of political divide. And so you have to find those moments where you rise above it. And it's increasingly difficult in politics today.
Good substantive issues to debate as opposed to some of the sleazy stuff that's out there. I'm glad we're focusing in on the importance.